I think we're going to repeat after me.
Okay.
I am a child of the divine.
I am a child of the divine.
I am wonderfully made.
I am wonderfully made.
I am connected to every person, place, and thing in the universe.
I am connected to every person, place, and thing in the universe.
I give myself permission
I give myself permission
and allow myself
and allow myself
to be prosperous
to be prosperous
and have a successful, meaningful life
and have a successful and meaningful life
with myself, others, and the divine.
with myself, others, and the divine.
Take that one in. I am at peace with myself and my environment,
I am at peace with myself and my environment.
and I enjoy the great opportunities for my prosperity on a daily basis.
And I enjoy the great opportunities for my prosperity on a daily basis.
Yes, we do. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, we're ready. We're in our real selves.
Let's see.
Sharing now?
Oh, please.
Okay. I have something to ask everybody, please. As Gary and I have been working on me, I'm getting closer to stepping into at least one of my important purposes. I came back to Dallas last year after being away for a long time, and this was just one step. I am hoping that somebody in here either is extremely good at writing business plans. I have submitted proposals for several projects that have been tentatively accepted by a wonderful World Fund that wants to see me doing good wherever that needs to be. And that's what we're working on, is all these different purposes, projects that I have. And we're scanning which ones are most important, and I'm beginning with those. But in this city, in this state, I don't have a team of friends like I did where I came from. I did this before where I have moved from, but I had a wonderful team to recruit that did this kind of work, and I didn't have to do this. I did the vision part in pulling together people that needed to be pulled together. But I'm needing that here now, and I don't know anyone yet. This is my family, so I have to put together a business plan. As I said, the projects have been reviewed, and they want to fund them. But they need a business plan to go forward, and I've got to step into this more professionally than I've been able to do at this point, and that's the holdup. And I have two daughters in school that very much need to see this single mother who's supporting a family of four be successful and step into my purpose and do it well. So, of course, I can write in that help to my budget for paying back someone. My funds don't allow it. I've found a temporary part-time job greeting folks, which has helped me come out of my shell here, but it certainly isn't my bigger purpose. So I'm hoping if you're not this person, that you know just the right person that can help kickstart this, because they're waiting on me, and they've been waiting on me since June. Since June. And I focused more on getting me to work and putting this on a back burner.
Taking care of your family.
And taking care of my family first. But this has come up as extremely important now, not only for me, but for my daughters to see me, because they're struggling in school and they hit a wall and they need to see mom climb my wall. So there's a big purpose to this. So let me know afterwards if anybody has any ideas.
No, thank you.
Okay? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh.
And I also have an announcement. One of my dear friends was in the fire in Canton about a week and a half ago. I don't know if you heard about it, but many families lost their homes and their businesses. And it was not insured because a fire truck couldn't get to that area. So they all built their businesses and their homes above their businesses. So they are without anything. They lost everything. So I'm kind of trying to coordinate. He found a rental house where he and his partner and her daughter, so they have a 3-bedroom rental house, but they really can't move into it until they have beds to sleep in. So he had a bed that was in his storage from a previous apartment, so they have a bed. I've collected enough stuff for kind of a living room for them. I'm going through my whole household and putting together care boxes of laundry and kitchen stuff and all, but the only thing they have in the kitchen is he went and bought a toaster, a pan to cook in, and seasonings, and a 21-piece spatula set. So he has nothing for the kitchen except for that. Oh, someone gave him a microwave. The house did come with a refrigerator and came with a stove. And a friend of mine has a washer and dryer, an old set that we're picking up. So if you have anything that you're not using in your household, and especially beds, they need chests and drawers for the bedrooms to put any clothes into. They don't have a dining room, nothing to eat on. He also is a web developer, so he has no office to work in. Fortunately, he got his computers out, so he at least has computers. So please see me if you have anything that you know of that you could help with. And he can bring a truck from Canton to pick things up. He's coming this Saturday for big things. So, and then he'll come back like each weekend if necessary. So, thank you.
Do they need clothes?
Clothes, size 16, women's 16 is really about the only size of clothes. The daughter, they've been getting things contributed, and he had a lot of clothes in storage, so he's in pretty good shape. So, thank you.
Good.
And for those people that are watching the YouTube video, if you want to contact these people, then call the office, we'll give you the phone numbers, okay? So, thank you, thank you. I want to go into a couple of things tonight, some good information. We've signed our lease, we are staying in this building, we just did it today. We're going to be moving across the hall, over where you see that electronic menu area. We'll be working behind that spot. The office I'm going to have to work from is going to be larger than this room. So this is going to be good because we're still going to have our private, we can have our lecture room from my office. And then we're going to have access to a very large and nice lecture room that's more professional. I'm telling you this because my office is your office. If you need help, if you want to get something going, just let us know and we'll accommodate you any way we can to get a lecture going for you. Okay, so just let us know. But I want you to know that we will be here, so this is good. And that we'll probably start in a new place in the beginning of February. Okay, so this is good. This is very good. All right, now let me go to reset and clear. Let me go to this tonight. Okay? And a lot of people have been asking, since we've been doing this work, we've been clearing ourselves. We've gone either up to the throne room or we've gone back to the time of conception, in some cases even both. You've gotten rid of a lot of this old cellular memory that's there, but we still have old habits. So for us in this room, we've got to be careful that the old habits are not going to try to take us back up into the brain or the heart. Now, we talked about this last week. Just 20. We talked about this last week where we said that the brain is ready for explosion. Working from the brain, we're going to have problems. It's unpredictable, very difficult, and it's not going to hurt you, it's going to hurt someone else. The heart deals with tension, anxiety, fear, stress, doubting, whatever you want to call it. But from the heart area, it's all about fear, or versions of fear. Spirit is the only place I'm aware of where we have 100% total certainty, confidence, and we know exactly what we need to do 100% of the time. Okay? Now the question is for us, how do we get from these old habits from here or here and back down to spirit? So I put together a technique here which I believe will help us. And I did a lot of thinking about this. Okay? So first thing on the list is clear dark forces. Okay? I don't care what you call it. Demons, dark forces, negative people, I don't care what it is, but check your environment around you and clear it. Now, we've gone through this before, but for the benefits of everyone here, what are some of the techniques we've used to clear dark forces in the past? What have we done? Anyone?
The circle of light, the sphere of light, and the vacuum into the black hole. I use the black hole, I use the moon.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can do something like that.
Bubble?
A bubble, okay, but when you use the bubble, what are you doing with the bubble?
I use the bubble
Okay, we use the bubble, that's good. But what are we doing with the bubble?
every day. Around me and around my house.
Okay,
And
so,
then I put the vacuum
very good, very good.
every day.
Very good, very good. Excellent, good job. Anyone else? Any other ideas?
Have a drain and just shower, just wash everything out.
Excellent, that works, that'll work well for you.
I was gonna say exactly that, I just flood everything with cleansing water.
Very good, very good. I might suggest you try the vacuum. It'll work better for you, okay? And that's coming from Spirit.
We all have to do these now?
No, I'm just asking for ideas. I just want to take you through this so that when you're at home and you're starting to now either fear or get upset about something, we immediately know we're not in Spirit. What do?
Oh, okay.
Simple technique, step by step to get there. Okay? All right, so here we got an idea about what to do about clearing dark forces. Yeah, you can just swipe it right through. Yeah. It could be anything that works. One technique that I like using, depending on the circumstance and time, I imagine I have a hemisphere, and I put that under me, and I just imagine that I've got the top of the hemisphere above me, they're not together. So I just evacuate the area, and as I'm evacuating and pulling out all these dark forces, I allow the two hemispheres to come together to create the circle and the sphere. And at that point then, everything around me within that sphere is clean, it's bright, and nothing can touch me. That's one way of doing it. Other times I may just sweep it away, just like Danny was saying. It just depends on what you want to do. It's up to you, yes.
Jerry, one other technique that I have used is that I have asked that the dark forces be escorted to wherever universe is their universe for their highest good.
Okay,
So I ask for an escort to just take them to wherever it is they're supposed to be, not just get rid of them, but take them there.
it works, it'll work. You're a gentleman, I'm not quite the gentleman you are. But good work, it works. Right? It works. Okay, let's go to number 2. Okay? All right, so, second part then. Once we've done that, we're in this clear space, then I ask you to give permission and allow, both of those two words, permission and allow. God, Jesus Christ, Holy Spirit, angels, I don't care what God you pray to, invoke that God to take your burdens from you and list them. So, just give them permission to take over, write down your burdens, whatever they are, like in bullet points. I would actually ask you to write them down, and then turn them over. Just turn them over to these higher powers and let them deal with it. Your job is to now release it so that you can go off and start thinking clearly, have some fun, and enjoy yourself, and get out of this misery that we've created from either our brain or our heart. Being clear? That's number 2. Okay? Number 3, and then I ask you to place yourself upon the prosperity circle. And imagine you can see the site of dysfunction. Well, we know if we're uneasy about something, it's either going to be the brain or the heart. Now, after tonight, I'm going to hope that you'll know exactly what's causing this problem. But for the time being, we know it's either here or here. I'm asking you to start thinking about this area of dysfunction, whether it's the heart or the brain, like it's on fire. Like we're burning ourselves up, creating all these problems. It's not going anywhere. So I ask you to see yourself in that prosperity circle, and you're burning up either from here or here. It won't be in both areas for the situations, one or the other. So imagine that that's burning up, and admit to yourself that you're functioning in capital S-I-N. We've gone through this before. What does that stand for?
Self-imposed nonsense.
Self-imposed nonsense or self-imposed no. We're saying no to spirit. Just admit it. And allow then the healing power of God to come straight on down, right on top of you, onto you, to douse that fire and put it out. So in your mind, you're letting all that healing power of God to come through, and let it just work all the way through your body, turning off that fire. Okay? Make sense? Now, there's also something else that makes sense to me here. We've talked about prosperity, and prosperity is the health, wealth, relationships, and time. Now, I thought about this, and I thought from the past that there were about 6 people that I've met over the 20 years I've been doing this work that I really admired, because they had a really good idea about how to live in one area of prosperity. Now, they were all really good about wealth and money. They weren't so great in the other 3, but they had it down in those areas, and they could just imagine that they could spend and spend and spend and spend, and the money would just keep rolling in and keep rolling in and keep rolling in, and it always did. It always did. So I went back and I thought about this, and it's not just for the money, it's for the concept of we are allowed to have all 4 of those elements working at top levels. We are allowed to have that. They understood 1 of the 4. Well, I admire people that do good work. I don't care what the area is, but I'd like to be able to do good work in 4 of the 4 areas, not just 1. So I thought about this, and I began to realize that if I'm seeing myself standing on that circle, and I'm already up in flames, then probably my wallet or purses are going to be closed. 1 or more of those wallets or purses are going to be closed. And when I went back and I asked some of these people, because I did go back and I asked some of these people, I said, when you're thinking about creating all this financial opportunity for yourselves, how do you view this? And the ladies would tell me, well, I just keep seeing my purse open, and as long as my purse is open, in my mind, I keep seeing money rolling in. And if for some reason I or my husband or whomever stops it, right, they try to get me to save or do something and try to stop it, well, guess what happens? The purse closes, and their opportunities close, and their money stops.
Makes sense.
They all said this. In their own form, they all said this. Now, I want to make sure that we can use things wisely, the health, wealth, relationships, and time. We use it wisely. We don't have to be concerned about it opening or closing. It's always open, and we give ourselves permission to work that way. So I'm asking you, at the same time that you see yourself on that prosperity circle, you see 4 wallets or 4 purses, and you see them completely open, and you see, as that energy from God is blessing you and putting out that fire that you've artificially created, let it go into those purses or wallets and let them overflow. Let them overflow.
So we want a big purse and big wallets.
You got it. You got it. You got it. And it's very interesting, but as I've watched my patients over the years, a lot of the ladies started with a small purse when they started here. But as they've now turned on these ideas, now they're working with larger purses, and now they're doing much better. So I'm asking us to do this. Because I guarantee you, when you look at that and arbitrarily look at that image, and if you can be objective, because I know you can be, if you do this long enough, you're going to see which of those purses or wallets are closed. You might be very surprised. Why make this hard? We are sending out these signals from this antenna system all the time. And if we're sending it out that it's closed, we're going to get it back as closed. Make sense? So let's try it. We got nothing to lose. I mean, I actually saw it work for years. I'm beginning to put it together now as an idea. Let's try it. I've been using this over the past week, and I'm amazed at my wallets. I'm kind of amazed at what I had closed. Yeah, but now they're open. We've been at this now for about 7 days, and I see it. I see it working. So let's try that, see what happens. Okay, so that takes us into step 4. Okay. All right, so step 5, we're going to be doing this. We're going to be continually praising. So we praise so that the fire goes out. The fire is completely doused. Once the fire is completely out, we keep allowing that energy of God to keep going through ourselves as we see ourselves on that circle. It's going into the 4 purses. They're overflowing. And we get back into living from spirit here. If we've done it the right way, done it long enough, we're now going to be very relaxed, very calm. We've turned it over to a higher power. We can now take time for ourselves, do the right things, and if we are relaxed, we'll be very focused, and that's kind of how we know at this point right now that we're working from this area, right? And anytime something changes, I don't care what it is, and we're going from here or up there because of old habits, we have this technique that will work. Try it. I've been using this technique just as I wrote it. I'm now very fast at using this, and I can get into all these steps in less than 5 minutes now. Okay? Okay. All right. Now, we got that. Now let me go to some good stories here. Anyone have some good stories about what's happened to them over the last week or so? Using these techniques, what they've seen about friends or yourself? Any good stories?
I had a business opportunity come my way.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Kind of landed in my lap.
Okay, so were you thinking about business or opportunities or?
Well, no, I knew this couple, this married couple, that they're from Tampa Bay, Florida, and I knew that they were looking for a partner. And I said, well, good luck, you know, and that was about 9 months ago. Well, they picked me.
Good,
So I was
good,
kind of like, I gotta pass out.
very good.
They're very established on Amazon.com, and they make a natural shea butter. And so they're gonna fly in from Florida and look over my living room and see how I can cook this stuff in the kitchen and put it in the containers and ship it to Amazon.
Very good, very good. What do you think her spirit is telling her about this potential opportunity? What do you think it's telling? What do you think it's saying? This is a very important question. Well, first, is it telling her that this is a good opportunity? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, yes, it is. It is saying that. Under what conditions is it a good opportunity? Under what conditions?
As long as it's prosperous for her.
Got it. That's right. As long as it's prosperous for you, you are allowed to make a lot of money from this. You are, because it knows that you'll use it wisely. Again, you can help yourself and other people. So when you're negotiating with this, it's not just about them coming in and looking at your property. It's you looking at them carefully and making sure that this is an equitable exchange.
Right.
You want to look at it that way. You want to use this now as a way of looking at them objectively so that they are now negotiating with you. You see the difference?
And ironically, they're doing a trading business, the stock market, and they don't have the time to do this, and they've got to make a decision, and
Right.
now it's like, you know.
If they're smart, they'll do this business with you.
Stay out of the stock market.
Yeah, if they're smart, they'll do the business with you and get out of the stock market, because they're not good at that. Okay? That's coming from them. Yeah. When you go to Spirit, there's no guessing. People, they'll tell you the truth right there. Okay, so just use this as a point now of understanding that you have an opportunity here if you choose to allow them to help you. If you choose.
Okay.
Okay? You understand why I'm saying this? Because if we go the other way, we're working from either here or there, and then we have abuse, and then we have a system that doesn't work, and then it won't be fair to anyone, and then this whole thing fails. If we work from here or here. Okay? Good, thank you, thank you. Anyone else? Yes?
Can I just quickly comment on the stock market? I work on the floor of the American Stock Exchange. My father is Michael T. Mullen, was the vice president of the Depository Trust Company, the largest bank you've never heard of. And I can assure you that dealing with people who are billionaires who I ate lunch with when I was a child, the consensus is very simply this. The stock market is not what you think it is. The stock market is big fish eating little fish. And the next question is, how do you know if you are a big fish or a little fish? And I can answer that with one question. Do any of you have over $100 million in liquid assets? If the answer is no, you are a little fish.
Okay.
Keep that in mind.
Okay. All right. Any other good things? that-
Sure. Using this, working with you,
Yeah,
my business has exploded.
okay,
Relationships, my health is doing great.
good, thank you.
Now I'm working on getting the time. Working on time.
Okay, so we know that wallet of time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Working on that.
good, thank you.
The difficult situation
Yes,
worked out equitable for both.
Good.
They decided, I had a job that wasn't making any money on them, and I spoke up. And they said, oh, we can't have that. You have to make some money. Let me give you some money.
it's nice, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
very nice.
That was nice.
Yeah, very nice, and that was kind of unusual, right?
Very unusual.
Right, for the pleasant side of things, yes, very good.
Walk on,
Right.
Gary, this works.
Well, thanks. But you guys are the champions, you're the ones using it out there. So, good job. Anyone else? One more story, please.
Since last Thursday, I've gotten like 12 new clients, and
Very
I'm
good.
like up to over 50 clients already.
That's
Literally
fantastic.
tomorrow I have like 15 minutes to eat twice a day, but my schedule is booked already.
Good, very good, very good. I'm glad to hear that from all three of you. Keep going, keep going, good. Okay, I'm going to tell you a quick story here, and you kind of understand where we're going with all this. A few weeks ago, I was watching the History Channel, and they were talking about rediscovering or finding Billy the Kid. I like Western lore. It's one of the reasons why I left New Jersey. Yeah. And there's only one picture that's without doubt the picture of Billy the Kid. We've all seen it. He's standing there with the hat on. He's got the Winchester, and he's standing there, and he's got that crooked face on. He's doing this. That's the only guaranteed photo of him. Now, a man goes to a garage sale, and and he buys this tin-type photo for a couple of bucks. And on this photo, he looks at these several people that are there, and I don't remember how he thought of this, but somehow he figured out that one of them must be Billy the Kid. This could be the second authenticated photo. Now the man has spent, it's been about 7 years since he bought this. He spent his entire life savings attempting to verify that this was, authenticate this with Billy the Kid. So he shows the actual picture of Billy the Kid, the one that is the renowned one everyone's seen, and he shows his on the screen. So I went to Billy the Kid, I went to his spirit and said, Billy, is that you on this second photo? Billy goes, yeah, that's me. Okay, we did that in less than 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm watching the rest of the show, another 50 minutes or so goes by. He finally tracks down, this gentleman tracks down someone in California who has rooms and rooms and rooms of computers. They're doing facial analysis. And they finally come back with all this information that says that the picture and the man who was in that photo, over 80% correct, is Billy the Kid. Now, we could have done this in 5 minutes. What was interesting about this, the man bought it for $2, this photo, he's now selling it for over $4 million. Now this is good, I'm glad, because he lost his life savings in doing this, and I'm really glad, this is good, but we could have done this in 5 minutes. Why, how can we get this information out to the public, and this may be a rhetorical question, how can we get it out so that they could come to you, or someone like you, and they'd say, okay, who is this, what is this true, is it not true? And you could say yes or no, like this, and it's authenticated. Just as easily as spending all that money, all that time, going to computers that could still make a mistake. Right? The purpose of what we're doing, and the purpose for the reason why I was born, is to get this out into the public so that we can do this so that you and everyone else is liberated. You know the answers. I want you to know the truth. It's very important to know that truth for yourself, just for you, but you can help others. It's amazing what you're capable of doing. So then I go to this conference, and there are a few Nobel laureates in physics, and they're discussing about the origins of the universe. And they're going into all the different theories about how could the universe be made. One even suggested that the universe was made by God, capital G God. And the others are suggesting that capital G God made smaller G gods, and the smaller G gods made different parts of the universe, and we're in one of those smaller G God universes. And there's string theory, unified field theory, and a whole bunch of other things. So I'm putting all these ideas down, and I'm scanning through them, using my spirit, because our spirits will tell us the truth all the time. And I'm juggling up all the different cards that I had, because I want to keep this objective. And it comes up when I ask what made this universe? How did this all start? And the answer that comes up is there's a capital G God. So I scramble everything up again, renumber everything, scramble it up. I do this 2 more times, so 3 times in a row. It comes up, capital G God. We have a capital G God that's out there that for some reason wants to help us, guide us, and we chose to select this. And it's coming through this spiritual area, and it wants to give us permission to work and do the right things. But our human side, brain and heart, is saying, no, 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 I'm my own God and I can do it myself. But we know where that's going to get us. So I'm encouraging you to start thinking about there really is a God, and if God really wants to help us, and it's there just like I am and you are to try to give us this information. So how can we help to access it? And we're going to help access it with this. I like simplicity. I really like simplicity, okay? I can't think of anything more simple than this. There is a group of chiropractors that use what's called a toughness plate. It's a device that sticks to their belt, it's got a plastic attachment to it, and as they're putting their hand over someone, they're rubbing their fingers on this plastic plate, and wherever their fingers stick, that's where there's a problem in that person's body. Now, it may take a little bit of time to learn to use this, but we're going to do this because we've got to get this going for your sake so you can start trusting yourself. We're going to start building on things that you can use yourself so that you'll be able to do this work without having or relying upon anything other than your spirit. Eventually, that's where I want all of us to be. Okay? So tonight, what I'm going to ask you to do is this. You notice I have this Fiji bottle, and this is it's not anything particular about the Fiji bottle, except it has some nice flat sides. And you notice I put water in it. Well, I started scanning, and I asked, how can I improve the amplification in this bottle? So you can pick up a signal very easily. more easily than an empty bottle. What could I use? I checked so many different dielectrics, different types of conductive mediums, and what came up was tap water.
I mean, old tap water.
Plain old tap water. I checked so many other things. So, and I checked it. I checked it without tap water, and I checked it with tap water, and it was a significant improvement with the tap water. And I want to give you the best advantage you can work with tonight, okay? So tonight, what I'm going to ask you to do is we're going to keep this very simple. I'm going to ask you to write down 2 names on a card, okay? One name is your name, your Christian name, and the other name is a name you would really hate. If you had that name, you would really be upset with that name. Okay? Why? Why do I want you to be upset with the name?
Oh, we see the
Contrast.
difference?
Contrast. Got it. Contrast.
Reason.
Yep. With the name, your name, as we keep saying, like I am, and you have your name down, as you're sending it through your body, the energy of your name, your body should be very calm, very relaxed, very much at peace. So as you're saying that name to yourself, you'll be sitting there and you'll be, I would use the index finger, but you could use any finger you want for you to try it. And as you're saying the name and letting your real name go through, I would just feel how your finger is moving along the surface of this bottle. Okay? And just feel it. And then go to that really, really negative name. A really negative name. So you're going to try to send that through your body. Now, it may get past your brain. It might even get past your heart, but it's not going to get past your spirit. So you're going to try to push something that's wrong past your spirit. Your spirit's going to go, no. This isn't right. It's going to push back. Now your body is going to go into a sense of turmoil, stress. As it goes into stress, what's going to happen now is your finger will start sticking to the plastic. Very easy, right? Because toughness plates cost a lot of money. This is so simple, right? Keep it simple. I want you to try this tonight. Okay, try this. If you want to work in pairs, you can work in pairs. Work by yourself, I don't care. But just try it, and it will take a little bit of time. Okay? But give it a chance, because people spend sometimes months, years, just learning how to feel and sense the plate. I'm expecting you tonight just to play with it tonight. Okay? But next week, I want us to start beginning to utilize this, because next week what I probably would do is I would ask you to start coming up to the front. You'll have a statement with you. I don't care what the statement is, something you really want. And then the rest of the group will be looking at you, and they'll be sitting in their chairs, you'll be standing up here, and they're going to be holding their finger out, because remember, this is an antenna. This is attached to an antenna. So they'll be looking at you standing up here, and they'll be going to your brain, okay? And the brain is working okay, no problem. Heart, maybe there's no problem with the heart. Maybe there's a problem with the spirit. Spirit now has a lot of energy. There's something going on here, there's something wrong with it. So maybe now they don't believe in their spirit that they can really achieve this. Okay? Or maybe, most likely the case is, they are working from their spirit. We'll see how this works tonight. We'll be able to tell about this next week. But most likely, here's what will happen. Most likely, the area that is energized the most is the one that's churning out all this energy, and we're going to be picking that up, and that's the area that we have to be careful about. We have to really watch. We want to see what's going on in that area. So if we're working from spirit, there'll be a lot of energy coming from there, because even though you're calm, that spirit wants, it's like a racehorse, it wants to get going. And if the spirit is like in that type of mode, then heart will be neutral, brain will be neutral, but spirit's going to have all this energy. Likewise, you could be working from this heart area, which is churning up, churning up, churning up. Spirit is going to be neutral because nothing's working there. Brain could be neutral, but the heart may be very energized. You'll pick that up and say, oh, wait a minute, you're working from the heart area. What's going on? You see what I'm saying? Try it tonight. Just try it tonight. See if you can pick up the names. Your actual name versus the difference with your some other fake name. Just try it.
Is the fake name something that would have been given to you, or is this someone else who the name, association with that name antagonizes you?
I would use a name that, if I heard that, if someone called me that name, I'd be upset, of course. I mean, I just wouldn't want it. Obviously, it's another name, it's right, clean, and we can use, but I just wouldn't want that name. Right?
Let's pause checking.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, since we've supposed to bring empty bottles, are we
Right.
supposed to go get tap water in
Yeah,
it?
we'll just go to the tap water in the back, you can just get it from there. Does anyone need any bottles? I've got some extra empty bottles. Okay, I've got 3 empty bottles. And it's going all the way from the top of the body, all the way through to the feet, and you're letting the energy of that name through. Okay, just let it through. Imagine you can actually see that name, whatever it is, the false one or the real one, I don't care. But allow it to go through as you're trying to stay neutral as it's going through. Okay?
Do I know when I get it?
You can, I would start with the one you know. Start with them, yes, so you know them. And then if you want to later, as you get better with this, then you can get really, close the eyes and see what you get.
So you close your eyes, what do you do with the cards? What do you mean?
Well, the card, in the beginning, I would just start with the eyes open, looking at the names. Just look at the names, and just see if you can sense the difference, just by looking at the names while you're touching the sides of the bottle.
Okay, sensing, okay, then you're gonna sense which one is which in the bottle.
You're gonna look at the cards.
Oh, you're looking at the card, okay.
Look at one card at a time.
One card at a time, okay.
Okay, so let me be clear on this. Here's what I'm proposing. Okay? However you want to put the 2 names down, 1 card, half of one, I don't care, 10 cards. I don't care if you really want to write it out long, 10 cards.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, right? So, you got the name on 1 card, for example. Right? You're looking at that name, whether it's a true name or false name, I don't care. But let it go through your body, and as it's going through, just rub the side of the container. Okay? Go to the other name. Let it go through. Keep rubbing the side of the bottle and see if there's a difference between the 2 names. See if there is, as you're looking at the names.
It
Oh, you're
starts
right.
out
It
with
was
a really
immediate.
easy rub, but the longer you think about the name, the less.
We're talking about the true name or the thing?
Somebody called me that today on the phone.
Well, the one I call myself all of the time.
Well, whatever one you're, as I said, keep looking at it and just allow it to go through. What you're learning right now, you're learning so many different ideas all at the same time. You're learning how to stay neutral, which is the hardest thing to learn how to do when you're doing this work. Because that's the only way you can fail when you're doing this work, if you can't stay neutral. That's it. So that's why we're practicing this way. Put the training wheels on, enjoy it, see how well you can work with it. Now, one of them is a magic bottle with a genie attached to it. So if you keep rubbing, you're going to get...
Really? A theoretical physicist actually says it?
I believe in this stuff. You kidding me? I believe in this stuff.
I was able to tell them.
Keep rubbing it,
I did it twice. So just kind It's gotta be really
I
bad.
would not touch that. I would not touch that.
One of the cards, you rub the bottom.
Not so much back here.
If it's an easy
I can hold one card.
I know that.
We don't need cards.
So you can feel a difference.
every time.
Minerals conduct more electricity.
You may want to shuffle cards and without looking at the card, see what comes up.
There you go.
Working on
water in there. I went to the real shop, the iron, and it clearly states that you have to trade. See what happens.
It worked.
It's actually conductivity of the electricity and then steam when it comes out.
Wow.
Yeah, most people don't read the directions. I hate to use tap water because we don't read it. That's what the instructions say.
Now, you might want to ensure that your legs are both flat on the floor. Yeah, so there's no crossing, no crisscrossing or anything like that. Okay? And again, because you're learning all this, if you've got anything in your pockets, you may want to remove whatever you might have in your pockets right now. That might affect the results. It could. I just want to give you the best chance possible.
7 out of 7.
That's very good. Okay. You're going to Vegas tonight?
Mixing it up and just throwing it up in the air and grabbing one and then doing it. 6 out of 6.
Good. Very good. I'm sorry, you said there was a question here? I'm sorry.
Yes, couldn't you subconsciously be pressing harder? That was your alluding to that question, that you could be subconsciously pressing harder against the water bottle, therefore creating a different field.
Oh, of course you could. Absolutely, absolutely. There's no fail-safe mechanism I'm aware of, but that's why I'm asking you to do it. So you're looking at the name, the true name and the false name, and you're attempting to get some type of difference. And then shuffle the cards. And see if you can, without looking at the names now, see if you can pick up some difference now.
Excellent.
I got too confident and missed it.
You went back up here.
I went back up there, thinking the cards, not feeling.
Right. Sure, sure. There you go.
Do you know which one that is, right? You know which I would be curious.
What is?
Like I said, you probably want to put a circle around the name so that you amplify the power of the name. That'll help it also. Better? Is it working? Yeah. So we're all flying to Vegas tonight, right? Bring your water bottles to the tables. As soon as we rub through the water bottles, we got to come back. And I heard someone say that they'd like to pick the lottery numbers. Nothing wrong with that, because that's what's legal. No problems, but I would encourage you, and I keep saying this and saying this and saying this, never get involved in any type of other type of gamblings. Never. I went that road, I was going down that road, making good success, stopped it immediately when I realized how dangerous this could be. Because if someone ever found out that you could do this, they'd have no reservations about holding you or a family member or God knows what hostage or kill you with no reservations at all. So with everything that we can do, we never have to deal with anything illegal, immoral, or unethical. Never. Never. We wouldn't want to. We couldn't work in spirit in the first place. So learn to use this to help yourselves first. Okay?
Seeking truth on it.
What you're looking for is how your body responds to the truth. How does it respond to the truth? Okay, when you're relaxed, the energy's going through, probably, most likely, you're going to get a certain type of response here. Now, if you're trying to send a false signal through your body, your spirit's going to say, no, I won't accept that. It's going to cause disruption in your energetic systems, which is now going to cause discord, which will now create problems in your body, and you're probably going to stick more to the bottom with a false name. Okay? Because you're resistant. Now that may work for, it may go one way or another for you. It just depends. I'm going the way it works for me. Okay? But just see how it works for you.
So maybe none of these names on the card is what your real name is.
That's possible. That's true. It could be. It could be. But you might want to put, say, a quarter in your hand and say, I'm holding on a sheet of paper like I'm holding 25 cents in my hand. Okay? And you could put, and if you got a quarter and just a quarter, another statement would be, I'd have 50 cents in my hand. You can try that. Because it is possible that your body, your spirit doesn't like either of the names you're using. I've run into this, I actually had some patients like this. Yeah, it's possible, it is possible. So if it's not working with the names, then try something else. Try something else.
Change your name.
And if we do have to change your name, hey, at least you know what to change it to.
Your birthday.
Not what I
Anything. Just anything. Okay, so let's see, there's someone called 25 cents, isn't there? Or
50 cents. 50 cents. 50 cents.
So you can't.
25 cents is 25 cents is
You better enjoy this.
50 cents. 50 cents.
Right, whatever.
That's your rap name is 25 cents.
That's all I'd be worth if I did that.
Could you use spirit to write a good rap song that would make you a good rapper?
Well, if Spirit said that that's what I should be doing, you could. If Spirit said, you could. You really could. But,
So your spirit will laugh at you.
well, only if it says,
Right.
if it says I should do it, it's not gonna laugh, it's gonna help me. It's gonna help. But are you picking up a difference?
Yeah.
Show of hands, how many people have been able to pick up a difference? Show of hands. Okay. So when you're picking up a difference, what seems to give you the stronger response, like more stickiness to the bottle? Is it the real name or the false name? False name.
Doesn't slide back and forth as it
Right, right.
When I was looking at my cards and looking at my name, I could tell a distinct difference. When I started mixing up my cards and turning them over, I was not having as good a success.
Right, right.
What is that all about?
Well, it takes time and practice. I mean, the fact that you can do this so quickly, I mean, I've known chiropractors that have tried using the Toffen's plate for years and couldn't do it. But the fact that you can start doing this immediately, that's extraordinary.
They're not chiropractors.
Right, that's an advantage. That is an advantage. But for you, I would say that when you're doing this work right now, you're working from up here, you're not really working from here at this point. Okay, somehow this is getting in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's here. This is where you're using it to evaluate, but we want to evaluate, we want to let that energy, that name, false or true, I don't care what it is, let it go through and let it, imagine it's going through this filter right in here. That filter is going to tell you, if it's a true name, I'm going to be relaxed, most cases. Okay? If it's not true, it's going to fight against it. It's going to be disruptive. You'll feel uneasy. And in that uneasiness, that changes the polarity on the surface of my skin. And by changing the polarity on the surface of my skin, I'm actually sticking to the plastic. I'm sticking to the plastic. Now, I would suggest you just keep practicing. Keep practicing. That's what we need is practice.
So even though I'm a brain person, it's stuck in my heart right
That's
now,
right.
which makes sense
Right.
with some other things going on in my life.
That's right.
Okay.
And again, since you brought this up, and that's a good point, I'm a heart person. I was born as a heart person. She was born as a brain person. But where we could get stuck in dealing with these issues has nothing to do with how we were born. It's only the way we're evaluating the situation. We could be going to our brain to evaluate it, which we know is going to create a lot of problems. We could even go to the heart, which will still create quite a few problems, but neither of the two are actually going to be effective. The only one that's gonna work 100% of the time is going back here, this way. That's it. That's it. Now, for those of you who weren't able to feel anything, keep practicing. Just keep practicing. It's like anything else, keep practicing. Maybe this technique isn't the best one for you. I just wanted to throw it out today because it could be so easy to do, so simple, since it's right there in front of you. You don't have to spend several $100s for a toughness plate. Okay? Yeah.
Could it be for some that if you have both names on your body, and you may be thinking of one, but the other is still there, could that cause some kind of?
It's possible, it's possible. But can I, and I don't want to single people out because for obvious reasons, but, okay, let me go right to the point. Who had trouble with this? Would you raise your hands? Okay, okay. Sharon, you were doing this from the heart area. Okay, you went down in here. So the heart is trying to evaluate these answers, and it's not going to give you correct. You won't get anything correct. You've got to allow yourself, use this technique, this reset and clear. Use that first. Make sure you clear yourself. And do the technique, all those steps, then try this. Then try it. Okay, that was one of the reasons. AJ, you said that there was an issue with you?
Sure.
There, right here. You're operating from up here. You're operating from up here.
Starting to trust my spirit less in my brain right now.
Yeah. Well, remember what this is. We have old habits. All of us have old habits. The old habits are trying to create all these problems. They're trying to bring us back into areas that possibly may have worked before in some way, shape, or form, but they're not going to help us now. So those old habits are going to try to bring us back here or here. That's why I started off tonight with reset and clear. So we can begin to work on reset and clear first. Sandra, were you feeling anything at all?
Well, I was, but it was like confused, like it really didn't like any of it.
Okay. Well, what's happening with you, and that's very interesting, you're bouncing back and forth between heart and spirit. You're not stuck in one area. You're bouncing back and forth. So that probably explains why maybe for one moment you might get an answer, the next moment it doesn't. But it is bouncing back and forth.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what's going on. So again, I would reset, clear, and try again.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else?
Well, when you said pick a name came through that I didn't like.
Okay. Okay. Do you mind if I ask what the name is?
The name?
Yes.
It was Gertrude.
First.
That's a bad one.
Not strong enough. That's
Well,
fine.
I don't like it and I have a reaction to it. And
Right.
so when I first did it, I got brain reaction
Right.
from
Right.
that. Then I used an affirmation of, I'm God's precious child, I can know the truth, which is what I was wanting to know.
Right.
So I did pretty good on both of them for a little bit. And then I ended up, I had 3 cards, one of them's blank, and one of them has my name, and one of them has the other one. And so I just didn't know which was which. So then I was doing them all, like I know the truth, I can come from spirit.
Yep.
Well, then it started sticking a bit on one. Well, I look at it and it's mine.
Okay.
So I don't believe I can do it, is what I got. If I,
Let me change this just for a little bit. I do
Okay.
believe you can do it. You know you can do it. But I don't think that's the issue. What the issue is, according to what you're saying, your spirit is saying, is Gertrude is a name that will go down from here to about here, and it won't go any further down through your body. So it's not going through spirit area.
well, I don't even know where it came from.
Yeah. We need another name. What would be another name other than Gertrude that you would find
Something worse
distasteful?
than that.
Yeah, more distasteful than that. What would it be? Any ideas? Any ideas from anyone?
Hitler.
I tried
No,
that
she
one
won't.
too.
No, she won't use Penelope.
Berman.
That's a good one. Do you like Penelope?
Not particularly.
Okay. You might want to, seriously, you might want to try Penelope, because that's going to go all the way down. And it's going to go through the spirit area, and the spirit's going to go, oh, wait a minute, that's not your name.
Oh, okay. What about Brunhilde?
Tis the season.
She's Bertram's sister.
That got started right here. That got started. That didn't even down. I'm learning from this too. I mean, I'm learning tonight, this is all brand new to me too, in terms of where we're going with this, especially using the bottles and things like this. But what you're telling me is it stopped right here, it didn't go down. So it didn't get down to the spirit area. So you might want another name.
Gertrude.
Better, that's better. That'll go from here down into here. Any other name? That won't work.
John, Hortense.
Court.
Wow, sorry, what was that?
Hortense.
Hortense?
Male name.
Nice. How about that? And then there was Hortense was in the Dr. Seuss book as well.
Any other names?
Myrtle worked for me. Myrtle, I don't like.
That'll.
Myrtle
that'll
did
stick-
not work for me at
Yeah,
all.
that'll stick right up in here, yeah. Anyone else?
I had a former partner that used to call me girl, and I didn't like it, and I never spoke up and said anything about it, so I used it. And it was working really well.
You mean in terms of you were getting sticky or not sticky?
Right.
Yeah. And you're right, that would work well. I don't know, we have to think about something else, some other name.
Mine worked perfect. One thing I would never want anybody to think is that I'm a stinky person, so I use skunk.
Okay, that
Worked
that
perfect.
got through.
85%.
Okay. Yeah, so we may have to experiment over the next week.
I had I was doing good in the beginning, and then I started kind of bouncing up and down again like I do, and then now I just tried to shuffle and did it again, but instead of it moving smoothly through my name, when I hit my name, it would stick. So it kind of reversed the positive for some unknown reason. Get it?
Yeah. You may have to test it over the week, see what happens. But most likely what's happening is it's getting late and your energy is probably failing, so you could be reversing. That's possible. Yes.
One thing that I know.